The gentlemen were in shambles. They're wondering, what happened? What happened? We're supposed to go live. Don't worry, motherfuckers. Stun a man's back. Hold on. I got the webcam capture going. Yeah. Let's see. Where the bumblecluts are at. Naeem! Boom! Boom, ski. I love how the lingo gets adopted by the network. Naeem, we got Naeem, the Bangladeshi hero, saying boom in the chat. Naeem, I bet in Bangladesh they got no idea what's going on with your new lingo. They can't even understand you anymore. You're saying boom, bang, bow. You're saying the gentlemen are bullish. Which I understand. Alright, listen. I know you guys want that DJ session, that first. All he needs that first, what's it called? Song to get the juices flowing, get them all fired up. Listen, no time for a song today, alright? We showed up to the stream a bit behind because we were hustling, we were working. I was live with Logan on Kick, you know, just getting the viewership up, trying to develop the community over there on Kick. So we're a little bit behind for this stream. Okay, so we're gonna get right to the action. All right. So today's stream, right? I'm not getting an echo. I'm getting an echo I'm not getting an echo. Interesting. An echo. There's no way there's an echo. Naeem, you got an echo? You're gonna be the final vote. Is there an echo or no echo? I think Boba Fett got the wonky headphones on. He's got the echo phones going right now. Do we hear an echo, gentlemen? I had it up twice. Bobby's so dialed into the juice. He's got multiple streams going at the same time. He has 2 of my streams live at once. Oh my goodness. Talk about the fucking loyalty in this organization. I love it. Listen, hold on a second, guys. I'm looking for my notes. Hang on a second. Okay, here it is. I got it. All right, gentlemen. Let's get into this shit. All right. So the title of the stream is Mentorship is Essential for Growth. Okay? So yeah, I need more viewers like Logan. Currently viewing on Discord, Twitch, YouTube, X, Kick on laptop, iPad, TV, phone, computer, and the smart fridge pumping. You got to get the smart fridge viewership cooking. Okay. So why am I saying mentorship is essential for growth? Because it is. Okay, what else is there to say? It is. The reason mentorship is so important is because you're never going to drag yourself out of your situation without knowing how to get out of your situation. The longer that you're entrenched in this group of individuals, family, friends, everybody that you surround yourself with, the longer that you're entrenched in that group, in that mindset, in that mediocrity, the more difficult it's going to become for you to get out of that situation. In order for you to change your situation, to change your life, to grow as an individual, you have to find out how that's even possible. You need to be around people that are going to hold you accountable to doing the things that great people do. If you're not being held accountable to be great, you're not going to become great on your own. Every human being, their natural... Everything wants to come back to equilibrium. Nothing wants to be uncomfortable all the time. Everything wants to get back to comfort, equilibrium, back to the norm. And so what happens, even as somebody who's trying to build a business, build your sales career, make money, do whatever it is that you want to do with your life, you yourself, no matter how well you do, are always going to want to revert back to the mean. You're always naturally going to start to slide back to normalcy, to average, to mediocre, because that's just the normal state of life. That's the normal state of everything, matter, humans. Everything wants to get back to equilibrium. And so the only way that you can continue to stay at the extremes of life, which is at the extremes of success, the only way you can stay out of equilibrium is if you have somebody who continues to pull you out from the center, from the middle. That's mentorship. That's what leadership is. That's what you need to be able to grow yourself as a person. You can't get this from the people around you, okay? And so the way I'm going to basically give this to you guys is, give you this lesson is, I'm going to give you a few things that my mentor had taught me recently, because I still get mentorship. I still need guidance, push, being held accountable by those around me in my network who are even more successful than I am. That's how I continue to raise my lid. I didn't just hit the pinnacle of success. I didn't just hit the pinnacle of finance. I'm not at the top yet. So I still need mentorship. I still need growth. So I'm going to give you some of the things that my mentor had given me to give to you, and then explain how this mentorship is going to help you continue to grow in your life. Okay? So this is from Mike Vasu. All right. So he had 5 things he wrote down that were basically laws or rules of success he's learned in his 20 plus years of entrepreneurship, of being in business. Okay. And the reason he boiled it down to these 5 things is because every single time he looks at the list of factors that will make somebody successful, these are the 5 that always resonate the most, have always stood out the most. These are the ones that really make a difference. So here's the first rule. Okay. The rules to success. All right. Fancy name. So the first rule, life is tough. You just have to be tougher. I know you wanted the secret sauce, the secret recipe. So you're probably thinking, oh, what? Okay. Life is tough. You just have to be tougher. What is that? Is that it? Yeah, that's it. I love the simplicity of that because it's true. What are you going to do about it? Everybody has a tough life. Everybody deals with emotions. Everybody deals with deaths in their family, excuses, kids, wife, all this bullshit that you deal with and you convince yourself is a reason why life is tough. Other people are dealing with that already. And guess what? I guarantee you could find millions of people in a worse off situation than you are right now, dealing with an even tougher situation that would switch positions with you in your life just like that. Instantly, they would switch positions with you. Yet you complain that your life is difficult, that your life is tough, especially if you live in a first world nation like the US. You just look for problems. You just look for excuses, not understanding how easy your life really is. So the first rule is life is tough. You just have to be tougher. Okay, as soon as you accept that this life is going to be difficult, that life is not supposed to be easy, that things weren't just supposed to fall out of the sky and you're going to live this magical, fantastic life that you imagined in your dreams. As soon as you accept it's going to be tough, then you can prepare yourself to be tougher. Because the more difficult that your life is right now, and the more that you take it head on and actually try to learn from those situations, actually try to defeat and grow from those difficulties, the better prepared you're going to be for your life down the road. The better you're going to handle the next problem. The more confident you're going to become because you're going to be able to look back at your history, at your proof, at the things you have accomplished in the past, and know that you're the type of person who's capable of handling these problems, capable of being a hero even in these difficult situations. That's where your confidence grows. That's how you can continue to attack life head on, because you're not afraid of what's going to come up, because you've already handled the bullshit. You've already been you were already brave in the face of adversity, as opposed to being a coward and running away from your problems and staying afraid. So the first rule that my mentor gave me, he said, well, life is tough. You just have to be tougher. Okay? So accept that reality of life. You'll live a lot better life because you'll know what to expect. The people who are sad and depressed are the ones who expect life to be easy, get smacked in the face, and now they're all, what's happening? Oh my gosh, not everything's going my way. Oh my gosh, they're not using my pronouns. These are the people that they can't handle regular life because their expectation is that life owes them something. When you change your expectations, you know what to expect. Guess what? Now you're not so upset anymore whenever bullshit happens to you. Life doesn't owe you anything. Life is tough. You just have to be tougher. Okay? Suck it up, Buttercup. The second rule he gave us. All right? Just because something is hard, stop convincing yourself it is impossible. Fantastic. Okay? I've articulated this in a different way, but the way he puts it is great because it's true. That's simply what it is. Things are difficult, so people just convince themselves that they're not possible. And here's the real funny thing about it. People will convince themselves that difficult things are not possible, that have already been accomplished by other people. And not just other people in the world that are successful, like an Elon Musk. No, have been accomplished by other people in their close circle, within their own company, within their own business, people at close proximity, people that they could shake hands with, people that clearly exist. They'll convince themselves that the difficult things that they've done are not possible, yet they're watching people do it, literally seeing it. Think of the delusion of that. But what it is it's cope. It's a way for you to cope why you're not willing to do something because it's impossible. Why try something if it's impossible, right? It doesn't make any sense. If something's impossible, if it's impossible to make $1 million a year, why would you even try to make $1 million a year? It's not possible. That's never going to happen. It's not real. But there's people all over the world that do that. So just because something's difficult, you have to stop convincing yourself that it's not possible. And you might be doing this consciously. You may be doing it unconsciously. More likely than not, you're doing it unconsciously. And here's what happens. Well, if unconsciously you believe something is impossible to accomplish, how likely do you think you are? Not only how likely do you think you are that you would be able to accomplish it, but how likely do you think you are to even attempt it in the first place? I mean, think about how foolish that is. If you think something is impossible to accomplish, what's the likelihood that you would even try? You wouldn't. You wouldn't even try. It's impossible. It doesn't make sense. So a lot of the things that are holding you back, specifically in income, it always comes down to income, how much money that you make and how much money that you have. The biggest things that hold you back are the fact that you're convincing yourself things aren't possible. You have to stop thinking why someone wouldn't purchase your subscription, why somebody wouldn't buy your product, why somebody wouldn't want to spend that much money with you, why somebody wouldn't be able to afford that. Stop thinking like that. How about you start thinking, well, how am I going to convince them to spend that much money? How am I going to make them worthwhile to buy this product or service? How am I going to make it make sense for them to spend this much money a month with me? You have to convince yourself of the ways that it's possible, of the ways that you can accomplish it, not convince yourself of why it's not possible. Just because it's difficult doesn't mean it's impossible, right? Nobody said it was easy to make money. Nobody said it was easy to build a business. It is difficult. It's the hardest thing that you're ever going to do. Building a business is like eating glass every single day for 5 years. Okay? It's not easy, but that's not impossible. It's not impossible. Okay? So I get a lot of times I'll see that with people I've trained, developed, especially in sales in the past, where I'll tell them to do something and they'll say, but here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different reasons why I can't do it. And everything's negative. Everything's scarcity. Everything's convincing themselves why something's impossible. As opposed to them saying, well, hold on a second. What are the ways that I can accomplish something? What are the ways that I can think about this differently? I'm doing this with myself personally right now, again, in the insurance industry. Somebody, a good friend of mine, who's fantastic at what he does, he's been able to do more personal production than I have in a month before, right? So instead of saying to myself, it's just not possible to write that much business on a personal basis. It's just not possible. So I'm just not going to try. I'm just going to continue to do what I do. Yeah, I'm operating at an incredibly high level, but I haven't done as much as he has. So guess what I did? I hit him. I said, hey, listen, I need to raise my lid on production. I need to be able to sell as much as you've sold before, because clearly I'm missing something. Clearly there's a disconnect. So I have a phone call with him right after this meeting so that he can tell me and articulate to me and give me an implementable process to be able to write that much production, right? It's difficult. It's going to be hard, but I didn't convince myself that's impossible. I've seen him do it. So clearly I can do it. I just got to know what you're doing. This is why mentorship is so invaluable, because if you have somebody right there who's willing to tell you exactly what to do to be able to make money, take that opportunity. That's the most valuable thing you can have, because they will literally tell you exactly how they're making money. This is the whole reason we have the Taylor's Code. This is the whole reason we built this network, is so that you don't have to look up to your college professor and expect this guy to somehow teach you how to make millions of dollars when clearly your college professor doesn't know how to make money. He gets paid on a salary to teach you something that he's not good at. Because if he was fantastic at it, he would be in industry using his skills to make money. No, instead, he's in a classroom, not to disparage them. College professors, there are plenty of intelligent professors, but they don't know how to make money. If you're looking to make money, you need a mentor that makes money. You learn from them, you implement, right? It's not impossible. It's just hard, okay? So you need this mentorship. You need these people to be in your life to show you how these things are possible. Stop convincing yourself it's impossible. The third rule, okay? Comparison is the thief of joy. I know you've heard this before. I'm going to reiterate this point. So my mentor gave us this again. He said, comparison is a thief of joy. Great real world example of this being the case is social media. You look at how much depression people have from social media, because all they do is stare at other people's success. And it's a very finite group of people that are actually this successful, right? There's only a finite amount of people that are actually this successful, and all you do is stare at them all day, and you think to yourself, oh, why can't I make that much money? Why am I not making that much money? What's wrong with me? What am I not doing wrong? What am I... The problem is you didn't see all the bullshit that person went through for the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years to be able to get to that point in their life. All you're seeing is the highlight reel. You're not seeing the practice. You're not seeing the game set, the game tape or the film sessions. You're not seeing the injuries. You're not seeing the time in the hospital. You're not seeing the diet plan. You're not seeing all the bullshit that they went through. All you see is the end result. And you allow that comparison to steal your joy. You allow that comparison to take the wind out of your sails. Comparison is the thief of joy. You should only ever look at other people's success to draw inspiration from them, to use it as a catalyst for you to convince yourself that these things are possible. Oh, wow, this person's only how old and he's making this much money? Great. Motivation. That means I can do it. Then you let it go. Then you put it to the side. Don't continue to stare at it. Don't continue to let it steal your joy. Don't worry about what other people are doing, okay? You focus on what your goals are. You focus on what your business is, and you do that, okay? Another reason that when you compare yourself to others so much and you steal so much, not only the joy from yourself, but you steal your own... You take away your confidence in anything that you're pursuing, right? So if you see somebody making a bunch of money in sales and you're building an e-commerce store with Bobby, right? Let's give an example. And you're building an e-commerce store with Bobby. You can't see how much money this person's making in sales and then say, oh shit, I want to go make money in sales now whenever you just started e-commerce. Then you jump to sales. Okay, now you're in the sales industry. Guess what? You see somebody else who's now making multi-millions of dollars in the real estate industry. You haven't made millions of dollars yet in sales, and you think to yourself, hold on a second, I want to make a bunch of money in real estate. Now you go get your real estate license. Okay, now you're in the real estate industry. You see somebody making a shit ton of money doing Airbnb arbitrage. Ah, shit, I don't want to sell houses anymore. I want to do Airbnb arbitrage. Okay, boom. Now you go do Airbnb. You see what happens? Just because somebody's having success in their own respective field doesn't mean you have to chase every opportunity that comes in front of you. People could be making a shit ton of money in the stock market. If you do crypto, do crypto. People could be making a shit ton of money in sales, but if you do real estate, then do real estate. My point is that you can't allow other people's success to, number one, steal your joy and make you depressed because you're not as successful as them already. But number two, you can't allow that to take your focus off what your path is, off of what your goals and your aspirations are. People get rich from all different kinds of industries all the time. Okay, you don't have to be pigeonholed. You don't have to be stuck in one industry and think that's the only way that you can make money. Okay, but once you do find what it is that you're going to pursue, once you do find something that you got some type of an affinity to, you have some type of talent, some type of skill set that really helps you succeed or excel in this industry, stick with it and then do it at the very highest levels. Find a mentor that's going to take you to the next level, who's going to show you how to exploit that industry for as much money as humanly possible. This is why we have professors inside the Taylor's Code. You want to make money in e-commerce, you have Bobby to literally show you how to build a store from the ground up, put products in there, do product research, run your ads, do your copyright, build the website, everything from top to bottom so that you can go ahead and start making money. And then once you're doing e-commerce, stick with it. You don't quit after a week. You don't quit after 6 months. You don't quit after a year because you saw somebody making a bunch of money in real estate. Because by the time you go get your real estate license, you start getting good at real estate. Real estate market crashes. You're fucked. You're out of a job. You have no money. Comparison is the thief of joy. That's number 3. Number 4. Integrity will always cost you something. Okay? Integrity will always cost you something. Dishonesty will cost you everything. Okay? Integrity will cost you something. Dishonesty, though, will cost you everything. So what's his point with this? So what he's saying is, in order for yourself to hold a high degree of integrity, people to trust you, people that can take your word at face value, do business with you, and trust that you're going to deliver on your word, in order for you to be able to develop that reputation, it's going to cost you something. You're going to miss out on easy money. You're going to miss out on easy opportunities. You're going to miss out on exploits you could have taken. You're going to miss out on shortcuts you could have taken because you're going to do things the right way. You made the decision that you're going to operate with a high degree of integrity. You're going to be truthful. You're not going to deceive people. You're not going to stab people in the back, right? You're going to operate with a high degree of integrity. The reason it's difficult to do that is because it's going to cost you a lot to have integrity. You're going to have to say no to business, say no to money, say no to sales, say no to opportunities because you know it's not the right thing to do. So what happens? People can't train themselves to do that. So they do take the shortcut. They do take the easy money. They do scam people. And in the short term, that person may benefit. That person may make a couple $1 million even doing it that way. But what happens is when you're dishonest, eventually it is going to cost you everything. It's not going to cost you something. It's going to cost you everything because it will at some point cost you your reputation. All that money you had made in the past, now people can't trust you. You've scammed people. Guess what's going to happen? You're never going to get any new business. You're never going to have a recurring customer. You can only ever sell somebody one time because once you fuck them over, they're not going to do business with you again. So that dishonesty ends up costing you everything. No matter how much money you can make in the short term, at some point, it's going to cost you everything. You're going to lose the business. You're going to lose the money. You're going to lose your reputation. You're going to lose your friends. You're going to lose your network. Nobody will trust you. Nobody will do business with you anymore. So how sustainable is it to actually be dishonest and try to scam people and try to cheat them out of money? It's not sustainable. I see it in the cryptocurrency market. You see it with these scam rug pulls. There are these guys who are making all this kinds of money just rug pulling people on these meme coin projects. You see so much scamming that happens in crypto. And you might think to yourself, over enough periods of fucking rug pulls, you might think to yourself, you know what? Why don't I just start doing that? Why don't I just start scamming people and buy a super car and make a couple $1 million and live my life that way? You could do that. You could join in on the fun with them. But what you do is you sacrifice your integrity. So now you have to live the rest of your life as a fucking nobody, a no name, a no face, in hiding, with bad karma, with guilt. And how sustainable do you think that business model is going to be? Sure, you might make money for a year, you might make money for 2 years, maybe 3 years. But if you're in your 20s, if you're in your 30s, how long do you plan on living? To your 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s? So how long do you think you're going to be able to get away with doing business this way? You think you're just going to have an unlimited stream of money by making it as a fucking crook? No. Your integrity is going to cost something. You're going to have to say no to things. You're going to have to work a little bit harder. You're going to have to go the slower route. You're going to have to make money the right way. It's going to cost you something. But it's better than being dishonest, which eventually will cost you everything. You could do 10, 20 years of work building up your businesses, building up a lifestyle, savings, investments, retirement accounts, and then just like that, one bad decision, one mistake, one lie, one lawsuit, one jail sentence. It's over. It's over. It's gone. 20 years of work down the drain because of the dishonesty. It will cost you everything. So why even put yourself in that situation? Why not do it the right way? Take a little bit longer to get to where you want to get to, but know that it's on solid grounds. Know that after you've built the home, it's not going to collapse on you. Know that the foundation is rock solid. Know that what you're building on top, though that home may take a few extra months to build, it's solid. It's going to be there for the next 100 years. It's going to be there for generations. As opposed to one storm comes by and knocks that whole bitch over, and you got to start from zero. So that's number 4. Integrity will always cost you something. Dishonesty will cost you everything. Okay. Here's number 5. Okay, so here's the 5th rule he gave me. So you can't get credit for the work that you haven't done. All things of value have their cost. I'll read it again. You can't get credit for the work you haven't done. All things of value have their cost. Okay? And then here's one side note he added to this. In God's eyes, you're going to get extra credit for doing the things you need to do when you don't want to do them. That's how you earn extra credit with God. You do the things you know you're supposed to do when you don't want to do them. Okay? So why is that so important, that rule for success? You can't get credit for the work you haven't done. Again, it's a shortcut. People think there's some type of shortcut to be able to make money. They think there's some type of shortcut to be able to generate wealth. There's not. Everything of value is going to have their cost. Okay? This is why they have value. This is why it's so fantastic whenever you do achieve it. It's going to cost something. So you can't continue to lie to yourself every single day when you wake up and you know you're not waking up early enough. You know you're not going to the gym. You know you're not running. You know you're not working on your business. You know you're not making money. You can't try to convince yourself that somehow you're owed something and somehow you're confused as to why you're not growing as a person. You can't get credit for the work you haven't done. It's not possible, right? Great quote from James Allen. Expecting something in return for nothing is equivalent to thievery. Expecting some kind of success, some kind of result, some kind of income, money, in return for nothing is the equivalent of thievery. You're a thief. It would be theft. You can't take something for nothing. That's theft. So in the world of work, in the world of building, there's no such thing as getting something for nothing. You can't get credit for the work that you haven't done. So when you actually audit yourself and you audit your day-to-day and you look at what you do on a day-to-day basis, what things are actually helping generate an income, what things are wasting your time, what things are growing you, hurting you, what's developing you, what's not developing you. When you actually audit your day-to-day, very quickly you're going to see your inefficiencies. You're going to see your inadequacies. You're going to understand where, oh, okay, that makes sense. I didn't make as much money this week as I typically do because I didn't make as many dials as I should have. I didn't do as many presentations as I should have. I didn't talk to as many clients as I should have. I didn't send as many DMs as I should have. It's very obvious. Why would you expect to make more money whenever you only outreach 100 times during a week as opposed to the weeks you used to do 1,000 outreaches? Well, you're going to make more money when you do 1,000 outreaches. So you can't expect or be upset whenever you get a poor result whenever you only outreach to 100 people that week. You didn't do the work for it. You can't get credit for the work that you haven't done. How do you expect to grow your clientele if you don't do any marketing or advertising? If you ran 0 ads, why would you be upset that you have no clients? If you ran 1,000 ads and you got clients, and then the next week you ran 100 ads and you had no clients, why would you be upset? You got the credit for what you did. You can't expect to get the same results from running 1,000 ads as opposed to 100 ads. It's like, are you auditing? Are you doing the work? Are you going to get credit for the work or not? Okay. So remember that you can't get credit for the life. You can't get credit for the work you haven't done. It doesn't exist. It doesn't happen. It's not real. It's not real life. Okay. So the reason I want to go through those 5 with you is because I'm still learning. I'm still growing from my mentors. I'm still getting feedback. I'm still getting information that I can then take and implement into my own life. And the genius is not in the knowledge. The genius is not in the taking the notes and being attentive and watching informational videos and just joining the Taylor's Code. Because all of you can all join the Taylor's Code, learn from us, understand how to make money, become more fit, become more healthy. You could do all these things, learn all this shit. But the genius is not in the information. The genius is in the implementation. That's now the next step. Once you've got the information from somebody who's actually successful, who really knows what they're doing, once you have the correct information, great. But the genius is in the implementation. It's the person who can do what they're told to do without any pushback, without any deviation from the plan. Not 99% of how I told you to do it. No, 100% of how I told you to do it. Because if you even 1% do it different than what I told you, you're going to get 0% of the result. You understand? It's not 99% of what I tell you to do. It's 100%. Did you do it to a T exactly how I told you to do it? This is such a great thing for sales, right? When you train people in sales, I love sales so much because everything is hyper-focused on speech, especially if it's telesales. The only thing you have to be able to sell somebody is your speech. How well can you speak? So everything is hyper-focused on how well do you speak. What's your tonality like? Do you say, hesitate all the time? How do you speak? Okay. And so what happens is you'll give somebody that you're training a phrase or a rebuttal or a way to say something. Okay. And then they'll go and try to implement it. And then they'll come back to you and they'll say, but Priyamo, it didn't work. It's not working. I did it exactly how you told me to do it. No, you didn't. Because if you did it exactly how I told you to do it, you'd have gotten a different result. So not 99%, not 95%, not kind of how I said it, not some of the words that I use and use some of your own words. No. If you execute it exactly how I tell you to execute it, that's how you're going to get the result. So there is genius in the implementation. A lot of times the best leaders are the best followers. They're the people who can put their ego aside and say, I'm just going to do exactly what you tell me to do because you know better than I do. I'm going to drop the ego. I'm going to drop the arrogance. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And that's how I grew so fast. That's how I made so much money so young, is because that's all I did. Is I listened to my mentors and I did exactly what they told me to do. And they will tell you that about me. I will do exactly what you tell me. Tell me to jump off a fucking bridge, and that's how you made, $1 billion, and it made sense. Okay, I'll jump off the fucking bridge. I don't care. Okay, so those are the 5 lessons from my mentor. Okay, so this is why mentorship's essential for growth. It's also essential for growth because, as I was saying before, me and Logan were talking on the stream for Kick before I jumped on this university meeting. And he was telling me about somebody who made a post on Instagram who leads many people in the same industry that we do. And he had a conversation with somebody who texted him all excited saying he made $8,000 for the week. He's excited. Oh, hey, man, I made $8,000 for this week. He'll probably end up making, $30K, $40K for the month. And his leader instantly responded, infuriated, pissed. What? 8,000? What are you fucking all excited about? 8,000? That's not shit. You're telling me about the lifestyle you want to live. You're telling me about the family you want to have, the kids that you want to take care of. You're telling me about this big dream that you have of this fantastic life. $8,000. What are you fucking texting me excited about $8,000? That's nothing. $8,000 is nothing. And keep in mind, the person he's talking to in our industry, dude will make $100,000 in a month. So it makes sense. You need that. Why do you need that? Because as soon as you start to hit the levels that you think are good, that you think is a lot of money, and you don't have somebody there to tell you that's not a lot, to push you more outside of your comfort zone, to remind you that you're not actually that great, you're actually not shit. If you don't have that, you're going to become complacent. You're going to revert back to the mean, just like I was talking about earlier. No, you need that mentor, somebody who's going to continue to remind you, no, I've done more than that. I've made more than that. I'm here to tell you that's not shit. So even if you made 8,000 this week, be grateful that it happened, but that's not shit, player. 8,000 a week's not that much money. It's still under $1 million a year. That's not a lot of money. So I encourage you, again, you got to be around people who are going to continue to remind you that you're not as great as you think you are. Because as soon as you think you're making a lot of money, you'll stop making more money. You ever think about that? You're only ever going to make as much money as you think is a lot of money. So when you're hungry and you're operating in an abundance mindset, in a scarcity, in an abundance mindset where you're trying to get more, you're going to do things that are going to help you make more. But as soon as you start to make enough money where you're no longer infuriated about that income, you're no longer pissed off that you're not making a lot of money, and you start to get the sense of, ooh, I'm making a lot of money now. Ooh, I'm doing pretty good. Ooh, this is nice. Okay. As soon as you have that thought, you need to go find somebody who makes way more money than you. Tell them how much you make and let them tell you that it ain't shit. and remind you that's not shit. Because as soon as you start to feel that way, all the things you were doing prior while you were hungry to get you to that income level, you're going to stop doing them. And guess what happens to your income? Boop. Capped. Lid. No more growth. Because now you're going to be so worried about not losing that income as opposed to being focused on making more money that you now start to only look backwards. And all you can ever do is worry about how you don't lose this income, how you don't lose this, as opposed to thinking, how do I make more? How do I keep going? How do I grow? How do I, which is the way you thought in the first place. Do you understand? Do never be afraid of losing the things that you already have. You need to think about all the things you can still attain, all the things that you don't have, all the things that you can go and get still. That's what keeps you hungry. That's what keeps you moving forward. Again, mentorship is vital. You need somebody to tell you, to show these things to you. I never would have been the person that I am today without my mentorship and without the leadership I had from those, from whenever I first started to pursue a career outside of engineering, outside of a normal office. If it wasn't for them, I would not have developed myself to this level and learned the ways to continue to improve myself to then raise my income. If it never happened, if I never met these people, if I never had these mentors, I'd be the same person as everybody else in my family, making the same amount of money, living the same life, perpetual slavery, paying off mortgages, paying off loans. That would have been my life. This is why you need to find that mentorship immediately. And it's these people who will then hold you accountable to doing the things you need to do to make money, right? You'll hear people say sometimes, oh, well, why should I get mentorship? Or why should I have somebody teach me how to do something online? Even though these same people are the ones who go to a 4-year college, spend $200,000, not even spend $200,000, get $200,000 in debt, right? They'll get $200,000 in debt to go learn something that you could find online for free, to go learn something at a university from somebody who doesn't even know how to do it at a high level. They'll spend $200,000 for that. But then they'll look at the Taylor's Code and they'll say, oh, $50 a month to be able to learn how to get rich in e-commerce and become super fit and make a bunch of money in crypto. Nah, $50 is a lot of money. I could just get that information for free online. Okay, so then why'd you go to college? Couldn't you just got that information online? And even if that was the case, which you can find a lot of things online for free. But if you could find all these things online for free, why aren't you already rich? What are you waiting for? If it's all online, if you could just Google it and figure it out and YouTube it and figure it out, I'm waiting. Why aren't you rich yet? If you're rich, let me know. How much money you got? If you got more money than me, teach me. What are you doing? It's not the knowledge. The knowledge doesn't mean anything. There's too much knowledge out there. There's too much bullshit out there. The implementation is the genius. The mentorship and somebody there to hold you accountable to actually doing something is what's going to get you to do something. Because clearly just the internet being around and the information being out there isn't making everybody rich. Hasn't made you rich yet either. So one of two things you can do. You could either find somebody that's actually going to hold you accountable and put you in positions to win and actually execute and actually implement the information that they're giving you. Or you could just do a quick Google search. How do I build an e-commerce store? Build your e-commerce store and watch what happens. You rich yet? No, because it's not how it works. Because if all the information was out there on how people are actually making money, then they wouldn't have an edge in their industry and be making so much money. They're not going to give you the edge for free. They're not going to give you the edge just online for you to go find. No. You're going to have to pay for something. You're going to have to look for somebody to teach it to you. You're going to have to look for somebody who has the edge so they can give you the edge. I'm just going to put it on the internet for everybody to see. Then it's no longer an edge because everybody has access to it. And if everybody has access to it, there's no edge. Okay? So that's about all the time we have for today, gentlemen. I got to get on this phone call, like I said, with somebody I'm going to have a conversation with about raising the lid on production, making more money. So I'm doing exactly what I'm telling you to do for yourselves, for myself. So I practice what I preach. I'm trying to see any more notes. One last thing I'm going to give you guys. I posted this inside the Discord this week for the gentlemen. The fuck did my phone go? There's no way it went all the way over there. Okay. So, I'm going to give you one more quote. It's my favorite quote. It's nice to have something that you're able to refer back to whenever you're going through a rut emotionally, not in a good place. You got to snap yourself out of it quickly. It's good to have something every single day that you can wake up and take a look at just to get you right back in that mindset of warrior mode. Go time. Make money. So I'm going to give you my favorite quote. I'm going to leave it there. Why the fuck do I have Yahoo Bombaclat? Okay. So the quote is, Ibo, hi. What's going on, Ibo? Ibo on Kick keeps blowing up the chat ski. What's going on, Ibo? Ibo, I didn't see you subscribe to the channel. All right? I'll respond to you quicker if you subscribe to the channel. So my favorite quote is The Man in the Arena by Theodore Roosevelt. This should resonate with a lot of you. Oh, what's going on, Mamoon? He heard about the... Mamoon, subscribe. Subscribe and I'll answer your question. So, The Man in the Arena by Theodore Roosevelt. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at the least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Think about how powerful of a quote that is. What he's saying is the man in the arena, the man who's actually in the game can do no wrong. He cannot do no wrong. The people from the stands and the crowd, those who never actually tried to get into the game, those who can know nor victory nor defeat, those are the critics. Those are the people who want to say, hate, bruh, this, that, and the third, comment on this, do that. All the critics, right? When in reality, it's the warriors in the arena who can do no wrong. Because even if you fail, even if you lose, even if you taste defeat, at the very least, you lived a life worthwhile living. And this is why I could never see myself living a mundane, normal life in corporate America, in an office, making a salary. I couldn't do it. I want to be in the arena. I want to be in the game. Because even if I lose, at least I fucking died on the battlefield like a hero, like a gladiator in the Colosseum, out with the tigers, out with the lions, trying. Maybe I die. Maybe I lose. But at the very least, I was in the arena and not one of these drunken bastards in the stands watching to go back down to their depressive lives and become a nobody once again. It's the man in the arena who's the hero, or at least has the ability to become a hero. I would rather the opportunity to be a hero and risk failure as opposed to being something who could know neither. At least give me a chance to become a hero. At least give me a chance to become exactly who I plan on becoming. I'm the man in the arena. So I encourage you, all of you, inside of our network, the fine gentlemen that we've been able to attract to the network, to the Taylor's Code, I'm so proud and so happy with the environment we've been able to cultivate because it's winners. We're bringing in good quality individuals. So I encourage you, those inside the Taylor's Code, to be the man in the arena. Remember that. Don't ever fear failure. Don't ever fear criticism, because you'll never receive criticism from somebody doing better than you. It would only be from those who are doing worse, from those who have less to lose than you do, right? Risk failure. I encourage you to risk failure. The faster you fail, the faster you succeed. The faster you fail, the faster that you learn. Always strive to be the man in the arena, and never criticize those who they themselves are in the arena as well. Because at the very least, they had the fucking balls to compete. All right, gentlemen. That's all I have for you today. Mr. Producer, should I give him music? No, I gotta get this phone call in 1 minute. All right, you guys are fucked. Next week you can get music. Mr. Producer, we got all them hoes. Mamoon, subscribe to the stream, bruv.